So what I want to talk about today is ironically what I've been struggling with recently, which is how to make yourself do something difficult when you don't necessarily feel like doing it. So for me, it has been, making videos while all these other things are going on in my life. And I found myself procrastinating or avoiding it altogether, avoiding making videos altogether. So I figured, I would put my money where my mouth is and practice what I preach and share with you some of the tips and tricks that I've found to be helpful. A lot of these tips are something that I'm still working on. So I'm not sitting on my high horse. I'm not preaching to you like I'm a hypocrite. I also struggle with it. And I feel like, part of the appeal of this video is to create a conversation, create a discussion, and kind of dispel the stigma and shame around this idea of trying new things or doing something difficult, be it learning a new language or working out, trying to lose weight, or even little things like being more sociable, being more confident. These are everyday mundane things that are not necessarily like technically challenging, but if done over a long period of time can really throw people off, which is why most people don't do it. People go to the gym and they feel intimidated by all these people that are, working hard at it, but you don't see the people that have given up. You don't see the people that have showed up once and then went straight back home. Like, you don't see those people, and it's important to talk about it. It's important to, as an audience member, to know that you're not alone in this. In fact, while you're watching this video, I would like you to think of a few things that you're struggling with, that you want to get good at, that you want to feel empowered to do. And maybe if you feel brave and bold enough, you can share them either on the screen right here or in the comment section down below, just so everybody else can relate to you and you'll know that you're not alone in this. Well, hello. Before we get on to the video, I would just like to quickly introduce myself. Hi. My name is Ella. I'm a full-time English teacher that specializes in devising a systematic approach to learning English. So if you've been struggling with English speaking for a while, or you're a beginner, you just don't want to waste time and you want to take out all the guesswork, I offer private one-on-one classes as well as self-study guides and courses. So if you're interested, take a look at my profile and you'll gain access to all my stuff. Now let's get on with the video. My tip number 1 is to build a new identity first, or find one that you want to aspire to. This is a concept that I borrowed from the book Atomic Habits and so many other books on productivity and building new habits, which is to find a new system, find a new lifestyle, find a new identity, and build this like made up character in your mind and really think through the things that this new person would do or not do. So it's easier to say no to a temptation when you affirm it to yourself that you're the type of person that doesn't do A, B, and C. And likewise, it's easier to say yes to things that are traditionally more challenging, that are more out of the character, when in your mind you've affirmed to yourself that no, like I work out, even if in reality you don't necessarily, like, your reality doesn't match up to that new identity yet. So this is what I've done in regards to learning a new language. I've affirmed it to myself that I'm the type of person that just like, I read whatever native speakers read. I read like native speakers around my age, what they read, and not just like, a 10-year-old or a 16-year-old. I've talked about this in my videos before too. Most people, when they start learning English or learning any new language, they immediately fall into picking the right textbook or going to the right school, picking the right program, the online courses that they like to study, without really thinking through like what their goal is. So my role model, or like my pretend new identity, is someone that is not only capable of conversing with a native speaker. I imagine myself to be like a native speaker basically. So I really had to think from that endpoint, and ironically that has made my journey a lot easier because I'm not so hung up on the everyday struggles. Like when I started reading my very first English books, when I run into a word that I don't know, I just take it one at a time. I'm not thinking to myself, oh my god, this is completely unnecessary, like why is it so difficult, it should have been easier. No, like my mind does not go to that, just because I've affirmed it to myself that this is the new identity. Yeah, and I just intuitively knew if something is difficult for me, it's probably difficult for everybody else. Number 2, reduce it to the ridiculous. Literally, just go for a walk if you're struggling with exercising or if you don't know what exercise to do. And going for a walk might also help for those of you who are trying to write something, be it an essay and homework, home assignment, or if you're like me who's trying to create content on a semi-regular basis. You could go for a walk for 10 minutes or even 5 minutes a day and then come back again tomorrow, do it for a few weeks and see how you feel. And I bet you $2, you'll feel so great and empowered and just proud of yourself that you will naturally want to do more. So the same thing happened to me where, before I even started signing up for a workout boot camp, I was going to the gym, I was going on the elliptical machine for literally 5 minutes a day. And because I was going there every single day, I was able to look around and see what everybody else is working on and feel comfortable and just more at ease with being in a gym. And I was getting comfortable with the workout lingo. I started building a workout routine and telling myself like how many reps and how many sets to do every time I go. But it didn't start out there. It started out with me just going on the elliptical machine for 5 minutes a day, which most people couldn't care less about because, it's so trivial. But anything small done consistently and done regularly over time will gradually snowball into something much bigger. Like the same cannot be said about the reverse, where people only go to the gym like once every 2 weeks and then they try to do something really grandiose, like working out like crazy, even though they haven't built up that lifestyle previously. And it always backfires on them because they would either feel so painful afterwards or they just won't see the result right away and they'll be too intimidated to go back. So reducing it to the ridiculous will work wonders for you, is what I'm trying to say. Number 3, join a tribe. Sometimes you have so little self-control and willpower that you just need the help of other people, be it a personal babysitter / personal trainer / if you're trying to learn English, a personal tutor. But you may not always have the budget, and even if you do, it can feel a lot more intimidating. A great compromise, or rather not a compromise, but my top 1 suggestion if you want people to help you is to join a tribe of like-minded people that are also struggling, people that ideally should be way ahead of you. Not too much, but ahead of you so that they can push you. And finding the right tribe of people these days is a lot more accessible and easier because of the internet. And a lot of times like virtual groups are even better than in real life groups because, people are a lot more honest about their struggle, about their progress, that they can't bullshit you and you can't bullshit them. And in that honesty and that vulnerability, you can really bring out the best in each other and push each other. Again, it's really hard to give up. It's really hard to just stop in the middle of the workout when you see everybody else doing it and sticking it out. The same could be said with trying to learn a language. As long as you're surrounded by people that are not too advanced or way beneath your level, then you're golden. Plus, it's way cheaper than hiring a personal trainer. Like I can tell you right now, if you want me to teach you, I'm very expensive and nor do I have time for it. So finding the right group of people a lot of times is cheaper, if not completely free. Number 4, take the thinking out of it. So you want to do whatever you can to eliminate the time and hesitation in between. I sometimes would wake up, not check my phone, literally roll out of my bed as fast as I can within 5 seconds. This is actually a documented phenomenon. The more you wait, The longer you wait, the more you hesitate, the more challenging it gets as you move about your day. Even more ideally, you want to set up for success the day before. So let's say you want to get something done the next day. You want to make sure before you even go to bed to lay out your outfits, to write down exactly what to do the next day, just so you don't ever find yourself like waiting and hesitating. Tip number 5, take advantage of momentum. There are certain things in life that are never going to be less difficult no matter how hard you try. But what you can do is to think of them as dominoes. Just like yoga poses that kind of are in a sequence that flow from one pose to the other, you want to make sure you slowly build up to what you're doing. Like you start off with making your bed, for instance. If you want to have a productive day, literally start making your bed, and you'll feel so great that you might consider doing something that's a little bit more out of the character. Let's say, you go for a run, you go for a cold shower, anything that emboldens you and empowers you will make you more likely and more inspired and motivated to do that one difficult thing. If, you've already built up a momentum to it, it takes less effort than if you just sit there and really fixate on, how difficult it is. Yeah, literally start anywhere and use the advantage of momentum to propel you into doing something that's slightly more difficult than you're ready for. Okay, so that is all I have for today. I really want to keep this video short and sweet and something that you can quickly look at and get right into whatever it is that you think is difficult. What I want you to take away at the end of this video is to never ignore the little things and don't underestimate the power of getting little things done, because like I said, momentum builds on itself. One small thing can lead to another big thing, which will help you build momentum, but it'll also help you feel more confident and more competent to tackle some of the bigger tasks later on. Celebrate all your victories and pat yourself on the back, and just keep in mind that most people are not even trying. So just the fact that you're trying, just the fact that you're trying to do something different, trying to change yourself is sexy. Be disciplined. Have the drive, have the resolute to aspire to something greater. But in the meantime, don't be hard on yourself, and remember to take it easy and build your skills one at a time. And try to curb your perfectionism. I know how hard it gets, but keep in mind that perfectionism is not a virtue. It is a curse. It all boils down to a fear. When I have perfectionism issues, it's usually because I'm afraid of my audience not liking my content, but really I just gotta change my intent. Like, I get to do this, it's a privilege, it's not a chore, and I'm not doing it to please people. I'm doing it because I want to do it, and it feels great to do it, and I want to provide some kind of value. And as long as I'm putting out content consistently, I will eventually hit all the points. So there's no such thing as the perfect video. And just like I need to work on that, you probably also need to lose the idea of perfectionism and just do the boring thing today.